Being from Chicago and living there during the Jordan era, obviously I am biased. Michael Jordan is unquestionably the greatest athlete of all time. He's the greatest basketball player of all time. He is the GOAT. There's no conversation, there's no comparison. I think he has demonstrated that throughout his entire career. But really, where you separate the men from the boys and the GOAT from the upcoming GOATs is simply he won 3 championships. His father was tragically murdered at the height of his career during his prime. That broke his soul. His father was his best friend, his idol, the person who was with him throughout, obviously, his life, but certainly his career. And this is someone who was his closest confidant, brutally murdered at the peak of the Jordan era. That destroyed his soul. He took 2 years off and then came back with a hole in his soul and won 3 more championships. There's no conversation. Stephen A. Smith gives the best description of Michael Jordan's GOAT status, not only on the Club Shay Shay interview he did with Shannon Sharpe, but also on the Joe Budden podcast where he spoke. I think he is excellent in his stats and in his knowledge of the game and knowledge of Jordan's detailed career and the specifics of that. So go check out those interviews for that. But what he did leave out, he alluded to it when he said Michael Jordan lost his father, but that cannot be glossed over because that was an enormous loss. Michael doesn't speak on it much, but when you lose the most important person in the world to you, that's an enormous loss. When it's done in such a tragic and violent manner, that leaves a hole in your soul that you never fully recover from. So spiritually wounded, this man came back and won 3 more championships. You have to dig so deep into the soul of who you are as a person to find the drive to even want to do that again after suffering such a loss. There's no conversation. Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and everybody else comes behind him. Period.